Hi, everybody. So I'm here just to share how Jesus radically redeemed my life and his love for you. I'm actually from Lawton, Oklahoma, and I was born to a Christian home, but what people were saying and how they were living, there was a discrepancy, and so it was hard to receive that as a child. My introduction to elementary school, I experienced child-on-child sexual abuse, and this was shortly followed by my parents' divorce, and I just had a lot of abandonment and shame and like confusion about who I was and my place in the world, and I just had a lot of loneliness as a child. By puberty, I was just so uncomfortable in my body, and I just wanted to escape. I read a lot of supernatural fiction, even like delved into witchcraft just to try anything, looking for meaning. In middle school, I also had a traumatic experience of having to stop my mom from attempting suicide. And that just brought more abandonment and opened that option of, oh, if I want to escape, I can kill myself. And so I ended up in the mental hospital for the first time. I also fell in love with a girl in my class, and I really believed that I loved her. And after my hospitalization, God took me away from there and back, had brought me back to my dad's side of the family. And I blamed God and was mad at him for taking me away from her. And so after that, I just, in my heart, began to not trust him and not really want anything to do with him. I started looking to anything else, New Age, witchcraft, and I just became more and more anxious, more and more depressed. I was in and out of mental hospitals, and at the age of 16, I'd been struggling with identity my whole life up to this point, and so when I came across a memoir of someone who had transitioned and believed that they were male in a female body, I was like, that's me. Like, that's what's wrong with me. That's what I need to do. I need to transition to start to be okay in my body, to start to heal and work through those traumas. And so I came out to my mom, and her response was, I don't understand, but I'm going to try to. And she was so scared for my life that she very quickly became just very affirming, and I went in to see a gender therapist, was diagnosed with gender dysphoria, and within 6 months after coming out, I started testosterone, and I was so elated. I was like, this is it, this is gonna fix everything. And at the same time, I continued delving deeper and deeper into New Age and witchcraft and anything to try and fix myself, heal myself, to gain identity in these things. And I actually started to get worse mentally. And like I said, I was in and out of mental hospitals, and still thought that I was doing what I needed to do to be okay. Finally, after a near-miss suicide attempt in 2018, I was just at rock bottom, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? What am I missing? And I want to preface by saying I had been living as male for years by this time. I had full facial hair. I was totally comfortable in that identity and didn't question it at all. That was not a conscious struggle in me. But after I asked that question, I had an image of me with long hair and a dress running to Jesus. And he had his arms out like this, and he picked me up and spun me around like his daughter, like a little girl. And it completely shocked me because that was nothing that I thought I wanted or needed. That was the complete opposite. I was like New Age, like Jesus who? So it completely just shocked me. But after that moment, he started just pursuing me. Like I couldn't deny his love was coming for me. And I would also have dreams where he would call me Zoe. And I didn't like it at the time. It felt like being birth named was felt like violence. So I resisted him partly for that. And finally, after months of him wooing me and loving on me, I finally was like, okay, like you're real. You're really real, Jesus. I can't pretend like you're not anymore. And I can't pretend like you're not good and that you love me. I have this desire to be with you, to love you and to serve you, but I can't be a woman. I can't detransition. It's too scary. I also want to say I never felt condemned for transitioning in the first place. He never told me, you have to stop testosterone to be with me. I just knew he called me Zoe. And so that was what I was wrestling with, what he called me. So after I prayed that, the same night I prayed that, I had a dream that, like, I'm not going to share the dream, but the interpretation that I believe was from him was, just come home. You'll be white as snow. Just come as you are. You don't have to clean yourself up. You don't have to do anything. Just come home as you are. You'll be white as snow, and we'll write your story together. And just getting that message from him, just to me, that was all I needed. Just come home. And so I did come home, and I gave up, like, just immediately had no desire for any of the New Age stuff and witchcraft, and I had convictions about that, so I just laid it at his feet. And he began to heal me and to show me who I was in him, to show me who he was. I had so many misconceptions about his love and kindness and mercy and grace towards me, but he began to show me the truth of who he is personally, just one-on-one, just reading the Bible, the privacy of my bedroom. He loved on me and showed me the truth. He showed me who I was in him and began to heal things that I didn't even know needed healing, like not even on my radar at all. And I began to detransition and was completely, other than, like, I had Jesus, so that was all I needed, but socially was so alone in that process, medically was so alone in that process. But Jesus was faithful and continued to heal me, continued to encourage me and love on me. And eventually I met my husband, which I never expected to get married, and that's a miracle. And even in that marriage, he began to heal, like, fears of motherhood. And we were not even certain that I could have a child, but we prayed and prayed, and I was able to conceive, and now I have an 8-month-old. And I'm still healing, like, it's a process. We're not gonna just flip a switch and be holy, perfect people. But God works through our weaknesses and brings so much healing, like, way more than I could even imagine just 5 years ago. Like, it's just amazing what Jesus does when yeah, so I share all that just to say that if he could change my life and love me where I was at, he can definitely do it for you too. And if you have anything you're holding on to that's preventing you from coming to him, just know he knows how hard it is and he loves you. And you don't have to carry that alone. He wants to love you through that and be with you through that process. And he's not going to force anything on you. He's going to love you through it. So, thank you.